Thanks so much to all my patrons. Join now to help support the channel and help pick the books I review on this channel. Link in the description. And I am done. Okay, so I just got done listening to The Crown Conspiracy. This is book 1 of Riyria Revelations by Michael J. Sullivan. And I want to give you my unedited thoughts upon finishing this book, which was literally just right now. So, yeah, not a fan. I'm going to give this one a 2 out of 5 stars. Which is surprising for me because this is the second time I've read it, and the first time I gave it like 4 stars. I really liked it. But my opinion on fantasy back then cannot really be trusted, nor can it, quite frankly, now. But I didn't really have much fantasy to back things up against, and so it was just like the only fantasy I was reading at the time, and I kind of liked everything I was reading. But yeah, on reread, this one pulled up very short. So backing up a little bit, Riyria is this very long series. I don't know how many books it is at this point, but it's split up into a bunch of little series. Well, I don't know about little. In this arc, Riyria Revelations, it's about these 2 friends, Hadrian and Royce, who get caught up in this kind of grand adventure. And they're pre-existing. They have this like band. They're thieves, and one of them is like the brute, and one of them is like more of the spy kind of type. And they have this pre-existing relationship, and they already have this group called Riyria as they go into this one. It's 6 books long, split up into, really it's 3 books because they were published individually. I read like one of the 6 just now. I consider them all individual, but they're packaged now up into 2 books at a time. So it's 3 total books for this. And then there's like a prequel series to this, and then a super prequel to that, and then a bridge between those 2. There's a ton of other stuff you can read. But this is the stuff that I've liked the most. But yeah, a lot of problems here. You know, I did not enjoy the way Michael J. Sullivan wrote more than anything. And I know that's kind of like a lame thing to say about somebody, but everything came off kind of so cliche. The writing felt so pedestrian. You know, I hated the way that these characters were introduced. You know, there was so much, you know, telling about these characters, and I never really got to feel any of them. You know, none of them kind of felt themselves. And I know this gets fleshed out later on in the series. This is very early on in the series. But yeah, it's pretty weak. And the plot itself I thought was weak. You know, as I look back on this series, what my favorite moments of these were these stories of like this bromance between these 2 guys going on these fun adventures. You know, these kind of palate cleanser type books. But this was a jumbled mess where you got to spend some time with these 2, but then it kept jumping around to this political intrigue that I thought was kind of poorly written and had a ton of kind of plot holes in it, and just things didn't logically make sense. But it spent so much time doing that crafting of the world that, at one hand, is cool that Michael J. Sullivan, you know, has dedicated himself to this world and really wanted to, you know, make it feel alive. But it came at the expense here of telling a fun story. It was just constantly just trying to, you know, tell this needless history of this world and these other characters that didn't really go in with the plot, when this is a very short book anyways. We didn't have enough pages to really go into that kind of depth. Michael J. Sullivan, these are the only books that he's written, these Riyria books. And, you know, I've asked him about this before, about if he'll ever write anything else. And he said, no, you know, this is, you know, he spent so much time crafting this world that he never wants to kind of abandon it and start fresh again. And, you know, it makes sense when you're kind of reading this, when you think about it like that, why he kind of has this obsession with building things out. But yeah, didn't work out that awesome here at all. You know, and I definitely want to keep going with this series. I mean, I just, you know, restarted myself here, and I know that more stories in this, the ones that are going to come up soon, goes back to that stuff that I like the most, these kind of fun adventure stories, especially the series that's like the prequel to this, which is how Hadrian and Royce met, and each of these short little adventure books. I'm looking forward to getting that again, but definitely didn't really get it here. So am I going to recommend these to people? I still think I do. I mean, I'm definitely putting a little bit of a caution out there because I need to read more of this to see if I'm going to have fun. I know that I liked the first book the first time I read it. I think I gave it a 4, but I gave the second book a 5. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading that next book and seeing if things get back on a better track, or if things are just going to kind of get stuck where I feel like they are right now. And my entire feeling on the series is going to get kind of turned upside down, which would be unfortunate because I've felt very positively about this and really wanted to like it quite a lot. So I'm going to end this very short review there. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, happy reading to you. Thanks again to all my patrons, with a special shout out to my Ascendant tier and Librarian tier patrons: Amy, Anna G, CJ, Doused, Darren, JD, Jonathan, Nathan T, Nev's Book Channel, Orthodoxia, Ron Reich, Russell, Ryan L, Slay, Sydney Baker, Tahir, Zion, Anna, Andra, Blair, Brock, Evan, Harry W, Joe UK, Kat Mick, Michael Sugarman, Sky, and Tyler. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video, and if you want to watch some more content from my channel, click over here and I've got some good videos for you. Thanks so much.